All right, welcome back to Problem Solver Politics. I am your host, Cardinellis, with Cody the Oracle.
Hey, everybody.
And apparently there is a new ad that Andrew Yang hath dropped upon us that features him with prominent Republicans, because that's what we're calling Barack Obama now. Actually, it hit us at 6:14 in Davenport, Iowa. And with all the deets and how this will affect our daily life and the potentialities of one Andrew Yang is Cody, the wise, the sage, the oracle.
Wow. All right. So, thank you. I appreciate that. But anyway, so what's going on here is, I'm sure a lot of you guys, probably when you're watching this as well, is definitely we're recording. We're kind of waiting for the last few polls to come out at the end of this qualifying period. Iowa is definitely a big thing of focus. So as you brought up, that was interesting to bring up that Andrew Yang actually debuted a new ad in Iowa that references his connections with Barack Obama. So we're going to watch this really quickly, and then I want to talk about a few other kind of high-profile, and honestly, not all endorsements. A lot of them are, though, but high-profile individuals.
But they are. Some of these people, it's so interesting how they stray from the word endorsement, because they think that if they just have all these photo ops and support somebody and give them money and design stuff for them, that as long as they say, well, I don't support, I don't endorse anybody, they think that by avoiding the word endorsement, that they're somehow, getting through some technicality, but the culture recognizes it's an endorsement.
Yes. Anyway, here's the video.
Andrew Yang founded Venture for America, which helped create thousands of jobs and helped me build a company. President Obama named Andrew Yang a champion of change. The American economy is transforming. Andrew is the only one that gets that. Andrew would provide $1,000 per month to every individual over the age of 18, and this would help relieve the burden of living paycheck to paycheck. My name is James Fayol, and I support Andrew Yang for president.
I'm Andrew Yang, and I approve this message.
He needs more of those.
Andrew Yang founded Venture for America.
That speaks to me right there. That right there speaks to me very, very much.
Well, I wanted to bring up definitely the Obama connection with Andrew Yang here, because I do think that it's. I think more along the lines of I do like the idea when Andrew Yang, not necessarily leaning on Obama, but bringing up the fact that it's not like he's never been to the Capitol before for anything. Of course, he had some more ceremonial things applied to him by the administration, but I don't know. I think it's nice to remind people that I have been working with presidents on some level before in the past. Also, what's interesting, too, is it's running in Iowa. Right now, today, we're brought up currently waiting to see these latest polls drop to see. It would take a Hail Mary, basically, for Andrew Yang to get into the current January debate, but we're still waiting. There's at least one poll coming out of Iowa, so even if it doesn't qualify, it'd be interesting to see where he's charting in Iowa. But I wonder if stuff like you said, you love the ad, so we definitely know.
And I got a couple of. I'll finish your spot. I'm just saying I got a couple of things to add to that as to specifically exactly why.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say that I was going to quickly see if I can pull this up. Hopefully it's lined up correctly. So TV ads, we've seen here that Tom Steyer's been buying a ton of TV ads. And he's not only buying ads, by the way, he's doing other stuff, but he's buying a lot of TV ads. And speaking of the debates, Tom Steyer recently qualified for the debate with a really strong 15%, I believe, he came up with South Carolina. And you'll notice that he has been amongst the highest spenders. Now, Michael Bloomberg kind of perverts the whole thing because it's impossible. It's Michael Bloomberg has spent more than everyone else combined, basically, at this point. But the TV spots are important. But the reason why I bring this up a lot, and you guys probably sick of seeing it, but keep an eye on this little gray bar down here because this is Andrew Yang. And you'll notice once he started running ads, throwing out the billionaires, he's basically running comparable with a little less than Bernie, but more than everyone else. And I don't want to get too dour on it, but I think it's part of the reasons why TV ads are a little bit harder for Yang to break through is that while in a conventional election cycle, he'd be running pretty much the same amount of ads you'd expect someone to be running. In this cycle, a billionaire self-funding hundreds of millions over the course of a month, what do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like the ad, and I've liked a lot of Yang's ads, and just, I wish I would have seen more gains out of the Yang's ads, but I think stuff like this is hurting him in that sense. Nothing to do with the quality of ads or where he's running them and when. It's just these billionaires they're running the boatload, man.
They are, and you cannot fight just the sheer volume of the money that the billionaires have, all right? However, as much as money does influence and help you, we still do not live in a world in which quality cannot trump quality. Let me tell you, 100 Chinese foot soldiers couldn't lay waste to 10 of our Navy SEALs, okay?
Wow.
Because the quantity versus the quality. I mean, maybe 1,000.
Oh, yeah.
1,000 could overrun 10, but not 100. All right, because there still is that function of quality versus quantity, right? So here's what I liked about this. First off, you'll notice that he said, "Hey, I'm James Fael and I support Andrew Yang." That if he can get a bunch more of these commercials where he says, here, I am a person that has made this micro business that now employs 10 people in my city because of Andrew Yang. That's powerful. That is showing people that Andrew Yang isn't the most culturally relevant. He's not the most well-connected and has more photos with politicians, but he's the one that can better an individual's life. That is the modern embodiment of what James Corville said when he said, "It's the economy, stupid." Okay? Nowadays, it should be, "It's their lives, stupid." And people want to better their lives. So the more that Andrew Yang can make videos showing, "Hey, look, I'm so-and-so. This is how it bettered my life." It reminds me of two very powerfully accurate and successful campaigns. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, my church, had the famous I Am a Mormon campaign. And they would show all the different people around the world. They were 30-second TV campaigns. And they would just say like, "Hey, I'm Steve. I'm a motorcycle Harley customs mechanic in San Francisco. And, this is my wife. This is my family. This, that." They'd show how cool and normal and interesting they were. And they'd say, "And I'm a Mormon." And it was a PR campaign for the church that worked that I thought was actually very successful. And it speaks to what is actually the underlying desire of all people, and that is to make their lives better, okay? And this kind of thing, I think, speaks just on the deeper, more evolutionary level, not on the cognitive level of people, and that's why it can be powerful. And I'll give an example here in local politics where they're doing a good job of this. The Democrats of the 38th District Central Committee, they meet together once a month and they have their meeting for like an hour or whatever. And they finish their meeting, the last half hour, an hour, or whatever it is. They have a little postcard party where they literally sit there and they just write postcards that say, "Hey, I really like our candidate so-and-so. I've known her for 5 or 6 years and she's always helped me in my education." And they'll write that 15 times handwritten, okay? And they're stacking up. They get like 500 done a month. Over a 6 or 7 month period, they'll have like 4,000 or 5,000 of these things ready to dump on the week of elections, okay, in which somebody's not getting another. We get 15 flyers in our mailbox every day during the election cycle. And they're all professionally done pictures. There's a couple of ones we pay attention to that are the endorsement cards from the official party. There's a couple of comical ones that are like, named like "Continuing the Reagan Revolution" or "Stopping Trump in His Tracks," and they're obviously the biased fringe people. But by and large, they're not paid attention to like a freaking handwritten postcard. That is powerful. And the Democrats here locally are harnessing that power to their success. Okay. And to me, this is a postcard ad. No television commercial can be truly handwritten. We need it to be filmed with a digital camera, edited by a professional, and it has to be above a certain threshold of professionalism before somebody takes it seriously. But the content can be handwritten. And how do you make that handwritten? How do you make that human touch if you're truly the Humanity First campaign? By actually having humans who you have influenced vouching for you and giving a testimonial to the success that they predict you will have as a president based upon their experience of the success you've given in their personal lives. I mean, I think this may have not been the most glamorous. It's not as cool as Andrew Yang's previous commercial where he had like the interstellar sunrise, Andrew Yang is the president of the future. And it may not be, dripping with all the hot babes and Evelyn and the cute kids and the explosions and the CGI and stuff, but this is one of the most human ads I've seen come out that is the most compelling, at least to a guy like me. I'm sorry. I veered verbose.
No, please, man. I just thought that was a great point. Yeah, while a lot of other candidates are kind of having to tell people that, hey, elect me, I want to help people, Andrew Yang actually from Venture from America actually can lean back and say, here are the people I've helped. You know what I mean? It's
just like Bloomberg's video.
It's no concept of mine. It's a real thing I've actually done. So I thought that was really cool. And been longer on thoughts. We don't have to go too long on this, but I wanted to bring this up as well. and we'll talk about it more later, but it's the one to bring up. So this is an article from the Washington Examiner, and it's talking about the celebrity endorsements for Andrew Yang. I thought it was interesting, kind of a little bit, just bringing up the idea of you kind of took it in a direction that's way better. The idea that Andrew Yang is how you embody humanity first in a campaign. I thought it was really awesome. But a couple things here I want to just add in as well is that in recent weeks, the Yang campaign announced support from actor Steven Yeun of The Walking Dead, Golden Globe-winning actress Terry Hatcher of Desperate Housewives, actor Dane DeHaan of Amazing Spider-Man 2, comedian Ken Jeong of Community and The Hangover, and director and screenwriter James Gunn of Guardians of the Galaxy and Dawn of the Dead. That is, of course, also including the recent support he has received from Dave Chappelle, who will be performing multiple celebrity
So that's confirmed now?
shows by Andrew Yang, yes. There's some pending dates, but in South Carolina. The story
Rock
itself
on.
is kind of interesting, I guess. Dave's team reached out to our team, and they were thrilled to put the two of us together, Andrew Yang said. We sat down and talked about his concerns for the country and what we needed to do for the next generations. Dave's a dad like I am, and then after we met, he said, look, I want to help, and what can I do to help? One thing that's interesting, that seems to be how a lot of these things go. Somebody's like, I want to meet this Yang guy. They reach out. Same thing happened with Donald Glover. That was how they met. Told
Interesting.
The same story. Donald
Okay.
Glover reached out and said, next time you're in L.A., I want to sit down and talk with you. They met, sat down and talked, and they came to what they did. So it isn't like talking about these celebrity endorsements. I think one thing kind of highlighted by that little anecdote, you mentioned it before, is you could buy TV time, but you can't buy endorsements. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
especially when it's like organic, like they reach out to you and say, I want to talk with you. And then after a long talk, they go,
Yep.
you know what? I agree with that. I want to go public with
What
this or do
Zest
something for you.
Tea Company CEO is going to be doing a testimonial for Bloomberg?
Yeah. Well,
I thought Bloomberg's ad saying, all these downtrodden people saying, look, Trump's campaigning here. The Democrats aren't. Well, that was powerful because he was showing people that he could potentially help. And then we'll superimpose ourselves emotionally onto those people. But that adds a distance link to the chain. We empathize and it's pulling on our empathy strings, right? But it's not a direct person saying, this guy helped my company. You know what I'm saying? He helped form my company and succeeding now. That is a direct link, and direct links are the most powerful. It's in journalism. It's like the difference between a primary and secondary source. You trust primary sources. You don't really necessarily trust secondary sources, though they may be guidelines towards better primary sources. So I got to say, I don't know. I think this is one of his better ads, and he would do, by the way, very inexpensive.
I'm sure, yeah.
Very inexpensive, not relying on celebrity, not relying on any crazy stuff. I literally, as a commercial producer myself, I could film 5 of these in a day. You give me 2 or 3 days, and I got you 15 of these things within a turnaround of 10 days. You know what I'm saying? And if you pepper the internet with people, like I want to see the person. I want to see the person who came from just a classically an immigrant situation or an urban poor situation, or came from an abusive background or something, where Andrew Yang's helped turn these people's lives around. He's mentioned them in all these stories. So let's make these anecdotes realities through these commercials. They're not that expensive. These people are obviously willing to help you. That, I think, will lengthen your stride, as we say. Where do we say that a lot? I hear it at church a lot. Maybe in some Tony Robbins tapes.
While I'm thinking of that, I agree.
As they say, it'll lengthen his stride.
Yeah, well, no, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I mean, like I said, today, interesting day. It's probably, like I said, looks like Yang might not qualify for the January debate coming up. But I also think it's a lot of the stuff you talked about. One of the reasons why a candidate like him could make the debate stage, but with a message that strong, maybe recover where others wouldn't, right?
Okay, yeah.
Like when
That's actually a really good way of putting it. Maybe he will recover where others haven't. That's a really good way of putting it.
I'm not saying, not to say that he can't recover or won't. I'm just saying that he might find himself in a situation where other candidates probably would be forced into pulling their campaign back and dropping out. But I think he's in a unique situation where he can actually overcome what other candidates wouldn't be able to overcome, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just a lot of what we talked about. Again, assuming he doesn't make it, we don't know anything yet. He very well could hit 7% in the announced Iowa poll and 7% in another early state poll. It's a long shot. I'm just saying it could potentially happen, but as we stand now, it looks like it won't. But again, why a message like this is so powerful and so important for him to maintain if he does indeed miss out on this debate, I think.
Yeah. So anyway, we would like to know what your guys' comments are. Let us know if you think Yang's going to qualify, if he's going to pull a rabbit out of his hat. We'll know hopefully over the next 2 or 3 hours as we get some additional data. Also, make sure that you share this video with your friends. What better way to talk to them about Andrew Yang than to talk to them about Yang's powerful new ad? I believe that's actually going to be the thumbnail. You know what I'm saying? And then finally, if you haven't had a chance to like yet, please like. If you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe yet, please subscribe. Mark your calendars for Mondays. We're going to be having a super awesome live stream on Mondays in which we announce our new membership program, and we're going to be unloading the last of our Problem Solver Politics hat. I think pretty much anybody who gives us a big super chat or something like that, we'll probably have some kind of super chat threshold or something like that, where if you give us $20 for a super chat, we'll give you a hat or whatever. As long as you live in the US though, because we've had a couple of people in Australia and the UK where we haven't been able to send them hats because there's like, you know, it either costs you like $500 to ship it or else there's like a customs violation or something. So anyway, let us know what you guys think. Opine, like, share, subscribe. This is Problem Solver Politics. We'll see you in the next video.